Goodbye, Phoenix. Hello, LA. Time to become a little bit of a California beach babe. We have got another 2-day recap for you as I round out the road trip from Nashville to LA. This is days 13 and 14 for the Tacy 12-hour fun run challenge, where I am preparing to do a 12-hour run with only 5 weeks of training. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, I have been helping one of my friends move out west over the past week, so videos have been a little bit more discombobulated, not quite as clean as some of my videos from the first week, as I've been trying to balance training, traveling, visiting with friends, nutrition, kind of all the above, and I was thinking I was going to be able to be really on top of it, and quite frankly, with full authenticity, it has been a lot more difficult to record these daily videos than I initially thought. Additionally, because we have pretty different personalities, some of the nutrition stuff has not been quite as easy either, but we are finally in LA, technically Venice Beach, and just did our first shopping run, so it's gonna be much easier to plan out nutrition for the rest of the week. To start off, I want to do the daily recaps for this past weekend for days 13 and 14 of the challenge, which would be Saturday, September 9th and Sunday, September 10th. To kick it off, on Saturday, we were finishing up our drive from Phoenix to LA, specifically Venice Beach, and so that morning I got in an easy 8-mile run just to kick off the day, get a little bit of mileage in. It was an aerobic pace, so not full recovery. Ended up averaging around 7:20s, I believe. We then spent the next 6 hours driving from Phoenix to LA, and then once we got in, I finished up the day with another 1.5-hour run. Just sort of threw in some flow state running where ran to my music, ran some fast at some spots, ran slow at some spots, and generally just did an overall good feel type of run. What it did turn into was about a 2-mile warm-up with 3 miles at sub-6 pace, followed by another mile, pretty easy aerobic in the 7s, and then another 3 to 4 miles in the low 6s, followed by a little bit more easy running, all in all coming out to 13 miles, averaging around 6:30 pace. So that was workouts 1 and 2, which was day 13 of the challenge. All right, so to kick off day 14, I was originally going to be doing a 3.5-hour run in the morning, but because I was kind of tired from the previous day of running and traveling and everything that came along with it, I decided to listen to my body and split it up into 2 separate runs. And so my morning run ended up being right around 2 hours, and I think it was 17-ish miles. And then the second workout of the day was in the evening, and that was doing just an hour kind of shakeout easy. It absolutely felt beautiful on the beach, but my tummy was kind of turning over itself, and that probably was because of the bottom of mimosis after the 17-mile run. So for the full recap of the weekend, Saturday was leaving Phoenix for LA, and I did 8 miles in the morning and around 13 that evening. And then on Sunday, day 14, I did 17 miles in the morning, followed by some bottomless mimosas, a 3-mile tipsy beach walk, and then a 7-mile easy run in the evening. Now, I do definitely want to talk about nutrition as well, because this is something that has not gone quite as I was hoping. I've been using the Fuelin app, which has been extraordinarily helpful in documenting, recording, and initially planning my workouts, my nutrition, my food, what I was planning to do during workouts, after, all that stuff. It really has been an absolutely phenomenal app so far. But because I was on the road, and because my friend and I have pretty different habits, it's been a lot harder to follow that than I initially expected, both between traveling, going out, drinking, all that stuff. A lot of things that are definitely outside of my norm. But I can tell that so far, one thing I have definitely noticed from using the Fuelin app is that I do not get enough food. I have not been able to hit my macros on pretty much any day so far. There's been a couple that I've met some of them, but definitely not all of them, which, especially when training like this, is very necessary for staying healthy. And I think this has been an issue for me for many years, which is one of the reasons I started using the Fuelin app, is because I was curious to actually start tracking that, figuring out what I need. And I'm quickly realizing that I have been underfueled, undernourished, and not getting what I need, just based on my daily habits, recording what I've been recording so far. Most of it is definitely not up to par. However, I do want to say that I'm very happy with how the app works, how it's laid out. And now that we are actually in LA, and we went and did our first shopping, I'm going to be here for a week. And so it's going to be a lot easier to plan meals, figure out what my macros are, get the granola bars, Go Macro bars, which again, Go Macro is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, did not have them while we were out traveling and did not hit a store. But I did just pick up some more last night, and I do love them very much. And so again, now that we're here, now that we've done our shopping, it's going to be a lot easier to sort of plan out the week. I've got my training plan updated, and at some point I think I'm going to try to release the training plan. Probably put it up on my website, which will be linked down below, so you can see exactly, if you want to go recap and look at all of my actual workouts. I'm going to see if I can put that up somewhere. But again, even knowing that I'm not reaching what my goals right now, as far as like macros, nutrients, all of that, it's a really good to just be aware of it. And that's one thing that the app has definitely helped me with. Another thing too is kind of not snacking. Now for me, I need to snack more, but for most people, I think that this is a really good balance, in kind of keeping people accountable to not snacking, because you know exactly when and where you need what throughout your day. And I think having a plan can be really beneficial for that. So again, if anyone has questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment section below. I will get to as many of them as possible. Again, we are going to be doing a weekly recap. The first video, I don't know what happened. It didn't happen. I tried re-recording it multiple times. I've tried, I don't know what happened. It was just completely jacked up, so it didn't happen. And so this week's recording is going to have the pre-challenge, week 1 and week 2 of training, going through all that information, doing kind of full breakdown, showing each of the workouts. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, again, if you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. I am training for a 12-hour run with only 5 weeks of training. So far, it's great. So far, it's fun. And I'm super excited for challenge date on September 30th. Stay tuned.